Lagos, hello Nigeria. My name is Sandra Adebayo. I'm live here at the GAT Summit, happening live at Oriental Hotel on a beautiful Thursday. We have so many tech innovators here. Some couples of government executives are here as well. Smart young people are here as well. And they are here to network, discuss wonderful things about the government and technology. You don't want to miss this. So, having had these conversations with tech industry regulators, what do you have to say about the event?
Well, I think the event is a very exciting sign of progress and indeed trajectory more generally for not only Lagos but also Nigeria as a whole. Because I mean, one thing that I've really noticed, at least having been in Lagos for about a month, is the energy here. Not only in the blockchain space, which is what I specialise in, but in the startup space more generally, particularly tech and fintech. And I think there are very few other countries that can actually harness and display that energy as Nigeria can. And this event, I think, is testament to that. If you look at the calibre of speakers, the quality of attendance, and the quality of engagement as well, I think there's a real sign of hope and progress for Nigeria's startup space, both now and into the future.
My major highlight from today's event is that we need to close the gap. We need to understand ourselves better. The regulators and the regulator, we need to understand that we are working for the same purpose.
The first thing is I'm so happy that quite a number of us are talking about the peculiar problem, and I'm so excited seeing so many young people interacting and trying to create a new space for themselves. This is indeed a very good experience. We have an opportunity to talk, not just talk the theoretical part of it, look at it from an holistic view, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
It's nothing less than what I would have expected seeing the organizers of the program. I've been to several initiatives like this that they've done in the past. So it's quite commendable that they're able to pull this out again today.
Because why do we regulate? We regulate in order to protect the consumer, in order to protect there's economic element to regulation, there is social element to regulation. So all these two affect both government, affect individual, affect you, affect me, affect the society. So when we now realize this, the regulator will now put in more effort. Why the regulator will not be too, how will I put it? You won't see them as enemies. Then you know that these people are working for me. They are working in order to make my industry better. So that's what I take from this gathering. And we need to see more of this kind of gathering that bring both the regulated and the regulator together.
These are real conversations that we must have before we could make any meaningful progress. There must be that active mechanism where you find regulators and private sectors, especially folks from the tech industry, come together and make very concrete plan with very pragmatic approach on how to move from point A to point B.
Now that you've had this conversation with the tech innovators, so what should we be expecting from the government from you?
The government has been looking forward to this kind of conversation, and we always try to ignite it. But now that you have ignited it, we are here, we are ready, we are available to always engage and to converse on it. Because like I said, there are things the ecosystem can do, government cannot do, and there are things government can do, the ecosystem cannot do. But together we can do greater things. So our idea of regulation is how can we co-create? How can we work with the ecosystem to co-create? Because these technology are novel. They are not something you can get from political or legal theory textbooks to base your regulation about it. It's something we need to work together to co-create, to experiment and perfect the regulation. The same way the technology evolved, so the regulation and the law will evolve organically.
So first off, thank you very much. This is not our first interaction with the ecosystem. We do this, we actually have an event called Arts of Technology. We do it on a yearly basis where we engage with ecosystem players, and we've taken a lot from all of these engagements, including this one, and are currently implementing a lot of initiatives to be able to enable the ecosystem. In fact, one of our first engagements, a plan came out of that, the Innovation and Technology Master Plan for Lagos. And it's under that plan that we are implementing things like LASRIC, the startup funding. It's things like that we are implementing the localization of the startup bill. Things like that we are doing, tech training. It's things like that we are supporting hubs, and co-working spaces through LSETF. So there's a lot we're already implementing, through engagements like this. And of course, the prime message here today was collaboration, right? And so it's about forming new, even more avenues for collaboration, really listening to each other and making each other understand each point of view so that we can come up with better, smarter policies for the ecosystem to grow.
So now that we've had these conversations with people in the industry regulators, what implementations are you looking up to see?
Straight off the bat, we're looking up to, we've collected numbers, contacts, then we'll follow up. We'll write letters. After this event, probably I would even also push for them to issue a communique, to be able to know this is our position and the need to collaborate between sectors. Then we follow up. That thing I said about having monthly or yearly meetings, we must have a meeting every year where the regulators and the people in the sector sit, sort of like a tech union. It might not necessarily be a tech union, but sort of like a tech union, because we must talk. Because you see, the scale of technology is advancing. A lot of things are happening rapidly. And there are a lot of things that need to come to Nigeria that has not come here because regulators don't understand.
Well, so I think it's very much a fine line between heavy-handedness, but at the same time creating a structured environment whereby startups and foreign investment can thrive. So a great example of that has been discussions around blockchain. So the CBN's been quiet on it, the SEC has published a very good and comprehensive document. Extending that sort of logic to, I guess, startup space and tech more generally, with the startup bill that was passed a couple of days ago, I think what we're beginning to see is the crystallization, I would say, of sort of various trends in regulation.
So just like we had with the Nigerian Startup Bill, okay, I want a form of unionization among tech startups. So let's draw something up and have something and send something to the government. Okay, so let them have something that can guide them. Rather than them just coming up with regulation on their own and no. Let's have something. Let's give them something. Let's give them a sample of what we expect from them, and then they can send something back to us, and then we can go over these things. So I think that way we can, we can.
You can feel involved.
They can feel involved. Aside that, we can actually, because there's no much time anymore. Every single day we have a new tech startup if not thousands of tech startups in Nigeria, and investors are showing interest. A lot of youth want to do it, and at the end of the day, we'll just be at crossroads with the government. So if we don't do that now, in the next 2-3 years, we might have a big issue, between us. We've had conferences like this. You see, people are tired of talking. It's time we take action. So from our own part, since they say we need to come to them, okay, fine. Let's put something together and send to them, and let them see, and then walk it back to us. If we're comfortable with it, we accept it. If we have, then we can then do that back and forth whole thing. Yeah, that's right.
And what do you have to say to the organizer of this event, sir?
I like what express my appreciation to them, because it's like they are doing what government's supposed to do. So they are helping us to reach out to the ecosystem, and we look forward to more engagement and collaboration with them. And also we are ready to support them and co-organize this kind of event in future.
No, I think I want to say congratulations. It's been a great event, interactive sessions, good panels, and I really want to wish them well and for this to even grow to a bigger platform.
What do you have to say to the organizer of this event?
Lovely, well put together. I'm part of the organizers too.
Yeah.
Well put together and everything. Going forward, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better. It's a good start, very solid start.
First, I would say a very big thank you. Like I mentioned, we need more of platforms like this. We need more of summits like this. And I also then mentioned, let's move away a little bit from having the very big events where we have a lot of attendance, to the documentation and trying to put together the thought process and let it get into the right department, right agencies and parastatals for some deliberate actions on what needs to be done. So I think this is just one step out of many, but the conversation should not stop in here. So we don't come next year to speak about the same thing. That's my first commendation and request today.
I said this is wonderful, and we need to see more of this kind of events, because it eliminates a lot of things, eliminates misunderstanding, and let all of us to speak from the same point of view.
What do you have to say to the organizer of this event?
Oh, they're doing a great job, and I want them to continue, because it's a long, tortuous process, but what they have started makes a lot of change within the system. I mean, people are listening. We may be thinking people are not listening enough, but you'll be shocked that for someone like me, I'm taking home another perspective, even coming around there from the academic sector. And you see people from government, and so it changes a lot of dynamics. Thank you.
Thank you very much.